All right, we live. Let's do it.
Won't you stop and take a little time out with me? Just take 5.
No apologies. Nothing.
Apologies.
That thing, like
That's a crazy way to start.
Man, that's a crazy way to start. Crazy way to start. I was already knowing.
You're acting like the series is over.
Yeah, the series definitely isn't over.
It's not over.
Oh God. Anywho, all right. Take 5 pod. You already know what we do. Go ahead and follow up at Take V Pod. Daily content, live Saturdays, 11 a.m. So we got 3 of the Take 5 crew, and then we do have our guest Joey up there. Joey, how we doing today?
Man, feeling pretty good. I'm glad to be back.
Absolutely glad to have you back. And that's at Take 5 pod. So make sure y'all follow up. Got a lot of basketball stuff to talk about today. You know, obviously got through game 4 of the finals, believe it or not. But there's a few things that we need to discuss before we get into those recaps, into those discussions. The first thing I just want to take 5 first and foremost. Let's just take 5, and I don't know if y'all have anything for this, but Zion.
Zion, I gained so much respect for Zion.
I didn't know he had it in him. I didn't. I'm gonna be honest.
He's an idiot.
I thought he was a milkman. Like,
we did know he had it. Obviously, Zion, he was accused of playing in the snow, back in the day. But Zion, come on, man. Like that whole draft class is getting put on blast right now because of Zion. Not even because of Zion, honestly. He's just adding to it. We got the John Morant, we got the Brandon Ingram. They just all do these extracurricular activities. Like, you just stop. Just hoop. Like, we want to see you hoop, man. I don't want to hear about all this, man. That's all I got to say about it. Really, that's it.
They say Darius Garland's carrying that class now.
Yeah, that whole class turned out to be a disaster. It's crazy.
It's all over the place. Good players,
hey, they're just young. They're just young.
Did y'all see the John Morant joke that Adam Silver made?
Nah,
I did see that.
By the anti-carrying.
Nah, I
definitely saw that. Adam Silver's funny. Honestly, since the finals is going to be over Monday, like, we'll definitely have a verdict on, what's going to happen with John Morant. So we're definitely going to see about that. Joe, you were here when we talked about that John Morant, right?
I was, yeah.
Yeah, so we'll definitely see, what Adam Silver and them come up with. I've been hearing a lot of different things with that, but we'll see. Apparently, it was a toy gun that he was playing with, which is more interesting.
His PR team is crazy.
Nerf bullets.
Some Nerf gun.
Who comes up with that?
I don't know.
His managers.
I don't know what's up with dude. But there's some other things that we got to get into. So I definitely want to get Joey in on this. So Christopher Paul was waived from the Suns. Sorry, it was waived from the Suns. Y'all know me. I'm not the biggest Chris Paul fan. It's our history runs deep. You know what I mean? But he was waived. So where is Chris Paul going? Is he going to stay with the Suns or is he going to go somewhere else? So let's let our guest tell us.
Here's the thing. I think I understand it from a contractual perspective. He was on like a lucrative deal. He's like getting paid, $30 million a year. And I understand at the production, he was you definitely could tell he had a decline, especially defense, even scoring too. But I think you also, when you're building a team around Devin Booker and Kevin Durant, you kind of need to free that space a little bit and try and sign. Because Phoenix Suns, they have all the firepower in the world. Just traded like the rest of whatever left of their depth for Kevin Durant, they need some depth.
Yeah.
They need to use whatever money that they had in Chris Paul. They need to get that to get those high quality role players. And I honestly, I felt like Chris Paul would be a great fit still in Phoenix because at this point, you don't really need him to score, right? He's getting up there in age. You kind of need someone who can, keep the ball moving, even when you have two of the greatest ISO scorers in basketball right now. But it would definitely help to have another ball mover there and someone of his caliber of an IQ. And I would love to see him go back to the Suns. I don't know if that's possible, but outside of that, I don't really know where exactly he could end up. Maybe Brooklyn, maybe.
Well, I mean, they got a new head coach, Frank Vogel. As a Lakers fan, I know him well, right? Won that 2020 championship, if you will, with Frank Vogel at the helm. There's no need for air quotes or actually anything of that nature. That's a chip. But we have to keep in mind, Frank Vogel, he's a defensive coach now, right? So he definitely hangs his hat on the defensive end. Like Joey mentioned, Chris Paul's getting up in age. He can't slide his feet as he once could. So, it comes back to the Suns. It might be an interesting fit. But, Jacob, where can you see Chris Paul going?
I can see him going home on his couch, trying to console his daughter. I think that's where he belongs, honestly. I think that's
Come on.
fit for him right now.
It's just crazy.
Come on, that's too mean.
That's
that
crazy.
was fun, but I don't know. He's old. How old is he now? He's like 38.
I mean, he's definitely getting up there. Yeah, it's probably, yeah.
I don't know. I mean, maybe he will go back to the Suns, but I think he should just hang him up, retire.
He said he still wants to play a few more years, though.
Yeah.
So he's still trying to hoop.
But do teams actually want him at this point?
Dude, y'all are trying Chris Paul. This is actually crazy.
What?
He can still start on a team. Like, what are we talking about? He can start on a good team.
Where?
Like, Kyle Lowry's out here playing good minutes in the finals. This dude Chris Paul is way better than
but he's
Kyle
not
Lowry.
starting. He's coming off the bench.
He's playing good minutes, though. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, he can still contribute to a good team. Like Joey said, like, he's a good facilitator. Like, he can do his job. He might not be able to play defense like he used to, but he's better than a lot of people at defense, especially at point guard.
Where's he going then?
I mean, yeah, to Jacob's point, there aren't many teams that need him, honestly, but I do think what Joey was saying, if they could get if the Suns could bring him back on a cheaper deal, I think they should. Like, they do need a facilitator, someone to keep the rock moving, not to just run an ISO ball with KD and Devin Booker every play. But yeah, other than the Suns, it is, I don't know. Maybe the Celtics. Celtics, Knicks, yeah. Some team that can contend for sure.
I could definitely see the Celtics.
Yeah, I was about to second that. I definitely could see a Celtics team, maybe, if I'm not mistaken, Joe, you can correct me. Isn't Marcus Smart gonna be a free agent? So isn't his contract ending?
Let me pull up Basketball Reference.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure, but I've seen him in some trade talks.
I think he is, but
I mean, I would imagine they would want to re-sign him though.
I mean,
no,
he's Mr. Boston.
They like Marcus Smart.
No, they do not. No, they do not.
He's a decoy.
Dude, they play Brogdon over him, and
that is not true.
What do you mean?
Brogdon got hurt in the playoffs. I mean, I thought they would have played him a lot more if he wasn't. But
Marcus Smart's under contract for a few more years. He's locked in until 2026.
Okay,
so he's there for a while.
Yeah, but like we said, as much as it's not that I dislike Chris Paul or anything like that. It's just, I think sometimes he can be overrated, right? That's all I think sometimes. That's just me. That's just my opinion. But like we were saying, he is a floor general, the quote unquote point guard. He's a person that's going to facilitate, get the team into offense, passes at a high level, mid-range jumper at a high level, and he can knock down the three. Somewhat undersized, as we get into the 2020s, there's a lot of big guards out there, a lot of 6'5" and beyond point guards, etc. I can see him coming to LA, and that's not me just being a fan, but I mean either the LA Lakers or the LA Clippers. They both are going to need a point guard. The Lakers, obviously, we have D'Angelo Russell. We are thinking about bringing him back, but even still, if we keep this roster, we're a championship roster. I don't want to see any looks from y'all, but we're a championship roster. So if we could bring a Chris Paul off the bench, in that Kyle Lowry role, you know what I'm saying? If he does take that lesser pay or whatever like that, I could see that fitting, him, banana boat with the LeBron, you know what I'm saying? Pick and roll with Anthony Davis, that would look very good. But on the other hand, the LA Clippers, I don't know if they're going to bring Russell Westbrook back. So he could really come into that starting position for them, help PG and Kawhi get into offense when they're on the floor. They could make that work. They could make that work. I don't know. In addition to that, though, he could go to one of these young teams, you know what I mean? Like a Detroit. I know how it sounds, but he could go to one of those young teams, help them develop whatever. It just depends on what, Chris Paul is trying to do.
He's straight on that, bro. He wants a ring so bad. Like if he gets a ring, you understand that like puts him up there with like the best point guards of all time. Right now, he's kind of down there without a ring. People always make jokes. Like even even people making jokes to his daughter. Like that's crazy. Like he wants a ring so bad. Like he's gonna go to a contender.
If it didn't happen last year or this year, he's never gonna get a ring.
But hold on, though. We can't you don't just get yourself catapulted, higher on the all-time list for being a fifth option on a championship team, though. Like, what are we doing now?
He would be the captain.
The captain?
The facilitator.
The
person who runs the ship. He would be the captain.
Yeah.
Would he not? He would probably be out there diming like he usually does. Like, he's gonna whatever team he goes to, he's probably gonna be like the first, like the head of the snake, like Jamal Murray. Like might not be the best player.
No.
Dude. He might not be the best player on the team, but he will be like the first person, who's gonna have the ball, offense is gonna run through him essentially. Whoever
he'll be a point guard, but if he's coming off the bench of a championship
coming off the bench, whoa, we gotta stop this. Why are we saying off
is
the
that
bench?
Insane? Like
Chris
Paul off the bench is insane. I'm just gonna let y'all know. Chris Paul is a starting point guard in today's league. He's probably still a top 15 point guard in the league. What are we talking about? Off the bench?
15. That's half the starting.
Okay, still, but off the bench is crazy.
Dude. Russell Westbrook came off a triple-double season.
Don't compare him
triple-double season.
Do not.
And then he was put on the bench.
Do not compare
what do you mean,
him to
do not?
Westbrook.
Russell Westbrook is better than that, man. He's always been better than that, man. So it's like, what are you talking about?
It's close.
It's not close. No.
Dude, Russ's fall off. We don't have to talk about it because we talked about it 100 times, but his fall off has just been crazy. But the point,
Joe.
Don't roll me into this.
I gotta bring you in on this, man.
They have very comparable stats. I just looked them up.
What?
They did. Russell Westbrook averaged 2 less assists and 1 more point.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, Morgan. The drop off is major. This dude Russ was averaging a 30-point triple-double. What is he?
Pull
up
the playoff stats. Pull up the playoff stats.
Are you serious, Brett? In
what
5
do you mean?
games?
I am serious.
5 games?
I am serious.
We're going on 5 games.
Yeah. It doesn't matter.
That's poor.
Who? Russell Westbrook?
Yeah, Russell Westbrook.
He had like 2 30-point triple doubles in the playoffs or something crazy, and then he had like some terrible game to follow up per usual.
In 5 games, he did average 23.6, 7.6 rebounds, and 7.4 assists. So
Yeah,
that's
like Jimmy
very
Butler
good.
numbers right now. I don't know what do you want me to say.
That's very good.
Jimmy
but
Butler's
that's
winning
in 5
playoff games, though.
I know.
Russell Westbrook was out there
Like,
losing games.
I'm just confused on what we're doing. And that's all.
The point is, Chris Paul is still a very good starting point guard in the league who can help a team win a championship. He's
Not
going to
really.
a contender, if anything.
Yeah, not really. But that does segue into the next topic that I want to get to. Okay, because Chris Paul, he's one of those players that he does get to the playoffs, but he typically gets injured in the playoffs. That's not a knock on him or anything like that, but it typically happens. Some got injured these playoffs. I want to talk about playoff injuries, okay? Because my good friend Ian down there, my good friend EE, we've been having a discussion about playoff injuries and what matters and what doesn't, and all I really want to say about it is, so Joey, you remember Heat versus the Celtics, right? 2023 playoffs. The Heat go up 3-1? Was it
3-0?
3-0. They go up 3-0, and then as we know, the Celtics, they came back, forced a game 7, and in that game 7, Jason Tatum, first possession of the game, his ankle is perpendicular to the floor. All right. The ankle injury made it so he's hobbled. He's wincing after every play. Just a quick video for us.
A somber Jason Tatum, and take note of the limp as he walks off. That ankle surely swelling up by now.
Yeah.
A rough start to this game for the Celtics, not only with the Tatum injury, but the way they shot.
Clearly hobbled. Some may call that loser's limp, but clearly hobbled during that game.
God, that's what I'm calling it.
My first question to you, though, is this is just a hypothetical. We're just speculating here. If Jason Tatum doesn't get hurt the first possession of the game, does he, 1, finish that game with 15 points? And 2, do the Celtics have a better chance of beating the Heat in that game?
I think absolutely. Jason Tatum is probably a top 5 player in the league right now, arguably. And if he's playing at full strength, of course they're going to have a greater chance. But I think when I watched Game 7 and I watched how Miami picked them apart, I also kind of saw that there were a lot of guys, Jaylen Brown specifically, just chucking shots up and taking ill-advised shots. And my good friend Richie, who is the biggest Celtics fan I know across the street, he was in shambles. He was embarrassed. Me and my friends were giving him all the not insults, but making fun of him for it, but it was definitely hard to watch. But I think if Jason Tatum did not tweak his ankle, I think they absolutely have a better chance. There's no denying it. But I think when it comes down to something like that, at least I would have liked him to see come out for a little bit, get some rest, kind of rest a little bit.
It up. He didn't even tape up the ankle during that game.
Because it's a rolled ankle. No one tapes up a rolled ankle. What are we talking about? This dude rolled his ankle, dude.
Jokic rolled his ankle last night
and was fine in 10 minutes. This dude was fine in 10 minutes. On God, Jokic was fine in 10 minutes. He didn't hobble at all. He rolled his ankle. The only reason Jason Tatum was hobbling because he lost. Bro had loser's limp. Loser's limp.
Yeah, if they won that game, I promise you he would have been jumping up and down spraying champagne.
With Deuce.
So he wasn't wincing after every layup, after every time he had to jump up during that game.
Jokic was for about 10 minutes, and then he manned up and just went to work.
First and foremost, Jason Tatum's rolled ankle was much worse than Jokic. Come on now. It was perpendicular to the floor.
No, it was not, bro.
Yes, it was, dude.
No,
it definitely
was. It was a tweaked ankle. This is come on, bro. He didn't sprain it or anything. Maybe if you saw it crack or heard a pop, but that happens probably every game. Like, what are we talking
Oh
about?
my God. Joey, I have more questions for you because the reason why I'm bringing this up is because we have a Philly fan in here. Okay, we have a Sixers apologist. Joel Embiid, our league's MVP this year. Okay, he goes into Brooklyn, faces a much smaller team, I might add. And Ian, what was his injury again?
I didn't really know, but it was a 4 to 6 week injury.
Yeah. Anyway,
What do you mean? Anyway,
anyway,
what do you mean? It was
leg.
a grade 2 sprain. Just look it up. To his
So he
ligament.
sprained his leg.
Grade 2 sprain, which is a 4 to 6 week injury.
Okay, let's go on with that. Let's
look it up. Like it's actual news.
Okay. Let's act like that's true. So he tweaks his leg during the series. He has to sit out for, I believe, game 4, right? You know, then you go on. It was some time in between the next series, but then he sat out game 1 of that Celtics series. But he came back. Okay, he came back, and you know, we know what his stats were like. You know, he was dropping 30-point games. Didn't really seem too bothered with that knee. You know, he did have to have a brace, etc., etc. If he never got hurt in that Brooklyn series, hypothetically, do you think that the Sixers could have beat the Celtics in that series? They took it to 7 now.
Again, definitely gives them a better chance, but I don't know. That's a little bit harder to say.
He's saying no, Ian. He's
not. He's not saying no. I don't even have an answer for that. Like, I honestly don't even know the answer to that question. Like, that's a tough question. Like,
definitely a tough question.
It's a long injury. He didn't play game 1, but we still won because of Harden. So maybe Harden, like, he has more energy for the other games. So I don't know. It is a tough question.
I don't point in asking this.
I was going to say something.
Go ahead,
I hate to bring up some PTSD, but you just sounded like Doc Rivers like 2 years ago when they asked if Ben Simmons was going to be a starter on a championship team. I don't know the answer to that question.
This is a side note, but I'm getting very tired of them posting Ben Simmons workouts on my timeline, man. I'm getting very tired of that.
I haven't seen one of those in a while.
I don't care.
I saw the one yesterday.
Yo. Anywho, but the only reason why I'm bringing this up is because, in my eyes, Joel Embiid played like Joel Embiid. You know, we're talking about 30-point games. We're talking about the face-up, mid-range was there, finishing at the basket, dominating at the rim. I mean, I didn't see him miss a beat.
No.
And the stats reflect that.
Morgan, if you watch the regular season and you watched him in those playoffs, you could tell there is a major difference in his mobility.
Not even.
Yes, there was. I know y'all don't watch him in the regular season, so I know
that's just a lie.
Y'all don't.
Lie.
What game did you watch him in the regular season?
Oh my God!
What do you mean? What game? You want me to?
I want to know. What are they playing? Like, how many did he score? Like, because like
I watched multiple games of him during the regular season. He was moving.
Is y'all don't watch him enough to know the difference between when he's hurt and when he's 100%. He was obviously not even close to 100%. This dude was out here hobbling at times. He was moving slow. He was obviously sluggish. Like,
and my rebuttal to that is that we're in the playoffs, second round.
No, obviously
nobody is 100%.
No, that's true. So like,
but was he 80? I think so.
I don't want this to be an excuse, but I'm just saying, like, I think he could have been better if he was 100%. But I'm saying he did play well, so you can't really blame that game 7 on his injury or the loss of the series on the injury. But I do think he could have played better if he was 100%.
I don't know, man. We get into these hypotheticals, you know. But I still feel like that was Joel Embiid. You know, we've seen him in many different playoff series, and I don't.
All injured.
When is he not injured? Is the question.
The regular season, he's not. Like, that's when he's MVP.
Yeah, every
33 points per game.
It's like he was injured against the Hawks, right?
Oh,
yeah, Ben Simmons. He played well that series.
Anywho,
I think he was injured that series. What are we talking about? Like,
Hey,
he had a torn meniscus. He had a torn meniscus. What are we talking about?
Just stop it. We've been trusting the process for a decade.
He had a torn meniscus. Actually, like I forgot about that. That's crazy.
Nah, I was in PE and we were still trusting the process. You know what I'm saying? Like, we just need to stop it. We need to stop it. Yeah.
All right, when we get past the second round, you're gonna hear from me.
Hasn't it? When did y'all been past the second round? When AI was in town? Hey man, let's go ahead and keep it moving. Let's keep it moving. So the moment we've all been waiting for, really. You know, the moment we've all been waiting for. So we got to talk about the NBA Finals, right? If we look to our top left of the screen, you can see that episode 12, Finals Cakewalk. Man, Joey, you're our guest. What have you seen from this NBA Finals? Just tell me.
Something that I've noticed, I watched Game 3, and something that I kind of picked up is that Denver. I mean, here's the thing: Denver. This may be a little bit of an obvious statement, but they're better put together team. Their role players fit seamlessly with their star, and that, like, even when they traded for KCP, when they signed Bruce Brown in the offseason, I said, you know what? I like Denver coming out of the West. I like Denver. I don't think I said that. I think I said, you know what? I think Denver is going to be the number 1 seed this year. Would I have predicted them to go this far? I mean, maybe. They do have really good, again, like, their team is so well built. And let's not forget, there's only one All-Star on that team. You could make the argument and say, like, Jamal Murray is an all-star caliber player, but has he played in an all-star game yet? And I'm not saying that he's not, like, an all-star caliber player, but, like, if you want to, you know, go on a sort of narrative, which I'm going to do, is that, like, he's not playing with any other all-star. And I think that's just very impressive. And I think the team construction is very, very good in Denver. But something I've also picked up too is that Miami, it looks so rushed. They rush into a lot of shots. They're trying to, you know, speed up the tempo of the consistent, you know, Denver just lets the game come to them and they play perfectly fine. I feel like relax would be a good enough word to say it, but, like, they just play. They don't, you know, play at a slower tempo. I mean, they don't, like, change the tempo at which they're playing. They stay super consistent and they don't get thrown off by other teams. Miami just rushed a ton of shots, and especially if you're Bam Adebayo and scoring 20 points on 19 shots, if I'm Denver, I'm living with that.
This is true.
I will live with that.
This is true. Yeah, you brought up a lot of good points there. You know, at Tape 5 Pod, we've definitely been discussing them for the past couple weeks. You know, Denver, I wouldn't say it during the season. This was my favorite to come out of the West, of course. Y'all know I'm a Lakers fan, so I was rooting for the Lakers the whole way. And the thing about Denver is I always worried about their defense, you know what I mean? But, you know, through these finals games, I mean, their defense really is stepped up a notch, you know what I mean? It definitely has been good, but I want to focus this more, okay? Because not that we missed a couple games, but we didn't really analyze the Game 2 loss. You know, we didn't analyze the Game 3. But let's talk about the Game 4 recap. So, Jacob, give us your analysis of what happened out there last night.
I mean, I agree with everything you said. The Heat did look just out of sorts. A lot of bad loose ball situations. The only time they were able to really go on a run was when Jokic had that foul trouble and went out of the game. When Jokic is in the game, he has complete control over what's happening. And Miami's switching their defense around a lot, rotating a lot. But somehow, whenever Jokic gets the ball, he's always able to make the right pass. And it's just, like, impossible to guard, basically. So it's just a sticky situation. They're too talented.
Nah, Jokic is crazy. Yeah, what'd you see?
So, like, if I was a Heat fan, I would be so mad because I think, like, the games that they lost were winnable, especially last night. What I saw was easy buckets by Aaron Gordon, easy buckets by
This is-
Bruce Brown. Bruce Brown. You
Yeah.
can't let Bruce Brown score 21. You can't let Aaron Gordon score 27. That's pretty much how they lost the game. Jimmy played well. I thought Bam played okay. I thought Caleb played okay, but when you have 0 from Gabe, I think he might have had 0.
Had 2 points.
0 from Strus. You got to have more shooting if you can't play defense. That's all it is. They just have to keep shooting threes and hopefully they go down.
Duncan Robinson had a decent game too.
Yeah, Duncan. Yeah, he played well.
Done.
K Love.
They do have to shoot way more threes, though. That's the way they've been beating all these teams in the playoffs. They got to keep doing that.
No, this is over. They're not doing anything else. Like this is already over. But no,
One game at a time, man. One game at a time.
Yeah. Anywho, 1 game left.
Don't let them win next game. Don't let them win next game.
But anywho, general analysis. So my take with this Heat thing, first and foremost, I said Nuggets and fine. But my take with this Heat thing, guys, I mean, they have to shoot 50% from 3 in order to have a chance to win. Let's think about that for a second. 50%, they have to make half of their 3-pointers in order to beat this team.
Okay. I mean, they've already done that in 3 straight series, but sorry.
And they've only done it once this series, right? In the win.
Okay. All right.
But Joey, when they did that, they won by 3 points. So I looked at that game, there's a lot of people texting my phone, especially our group chat. A lot of revelry, you know what I'm saying? A lot of boisterous comments talking about, whoa, the Heat, we're gonna do this, that. They have to play perfect basketball in order to beat this team. Okay. They don't have a star that they can lean on to just take them there, put them on their shoulders currently, right? They have to play perfect basketball. But let's look at what Denver did. Okay. Denver, obviously, you're going to get everything you're going to get out of Jokic. Jokic, he really impressed me last night again. He was really hoisting up threes. It's not really his game, but he was shooting the 3 on the pick and pop. You know what you're going to get out of him. Jamal Murray, they've shown me that there's absolutely no answer for him. You can say what you want to. He didn't really have a great shooting game, but he had 12 assists and 0 turnovers. They haven't really found a way to contain him properly. But the thing that the Heat don't have is those role guys, okay? Now, Michael Porter Jr., he's been non-existent this entire finals. He's had good rebounding games, but he's been non-existent this entire finals. Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, he's played some pretty good defense out there, but he really hasn't shot the ball very well, like we're accustomed to. But then you have to go to the bench. When you can get a 15 out of a Christian Brown, okay, with good minutes out of him, when you can get, I don't know when he had a 21 from, Bruce Brown out there, right? That's where we separate good teams from great teams, where you could go to your bench and get that production. And another thing, we have to give our props and credit to Aaron Gordon. Aaron Gordon, he's looking like the Hulk out there. You know what I mean? He's absolutely dominated them on the inside. And last night, he stepped out and gave us a couple threes. You know what I mean? So when that happens, that's completely demoralizing for a Heat team. They're doing all that they can out there to contain, obviously the two stars that Denver has. But when you get those extra contributions there, along with the added defensive pressure that Denver is bringing, it's not much you can do. It's really not much you can do. And I give the Heat, credit. They made adjustments. They tried to do their thing. They went away from Ian's zone that he's been raving about or whatever because they picked that apart in Game 3. But they actually out-rebounded the Denver Nuggets in the first half, okay? They out-rebounded them. That's unheard of. But anywho, get back to the analysis of that game 4. To Jacob's credit, well, actually, no, I want to one up Jacob in his comments, actually. I felt like this was the game that the Heat had to win. They had to win this game. Obviously, not to go down 3-1, but they had to win this game because at the end of the game, they called ticky-tack fouls on Jokic, whatever, and he had to exit the game for a lengthy amount of time in the fourth quarter. That's where Jimmy Butler, Superman, or whatever y'all want to call him, is supposed to put on his cape and take the team to that next level. But like I said, you got Bruce Brown coming out there giving good minutes. KCP hits him down at the end. That makes all the difference.
But hold on, did Jimmy Butler not put on his cape and put them on a run? I mean, that's what happened. It's just that when Bruce Brown goes Kobe mode, there's nothing you can do.
Yeah, they were just trading buckets, dude. There's nothing Jimmy can really do. Oh, snap. What's his name? They're putting the worst defender on Bruce Brown because he's the worst scorer. He just keeps scoring. What are they supposed to do? What is Jimmy supposed to do?
They're simply not talented enough.
He can't guard everyone.
I want to play a quick clip really quick. Since you want to talk about Jimmy Butler so bad, let's talk about him. I'm going to just start by saying the obvious. This guy is not LeBron James, so we need to stop holding him to that type of standard. All right? We need to stop acting like this guy is a destroyer of worlds, like Thanos, or anything of that sort. He's Jimmy Butler.
What's the conversation going to be if they do win the series? Because at that point, all options will have been exhausted. Like, all hate will just be gone. Like, what can you say at that point? Seriously. Like,
I will have nothing to say. I'll be speechless.
That will be amazing.
Guys wear it down. Jimmy Butler has broad shoulders. He does. He has broad shoulders. He's getting bogged down by this run. It's evident. It's hard. It's extremely hard to keep this level of play up. This is where we separate the good from the great. That's where we separate it. Joey, our guest. Jimmy Butler last night, 25 points, 7 rebounds, 7 assists, 1 block, shooting 53% from the field. 1 turnover on the game. He was a -9. I want to ask you this question. Do you think that Jimmy Butler is injured or hurt, laboring?
I don't think so. I think he's definitely like this is my thing. Okay. And we were on the topic of playoff injuries before. I'm going to talk about another one that we haven't discussed now. It's kind of itching to get out of my mouth when we were talking about it. Tyler Hero has been out since the first game of the first round in Eastern Conference playoffs. And situations like these is where you miss a Tyler Hero as a guy who can get you a bucket any way he can. So they're asking Jimmy right now to be your best scorer, your best offensive weapon, and as well as guarding their best perimeter player who, is giving them crazy amounts of buckets right now. Exactly. So it's tough because there have been times where you're looking to Jimmy's like your only source of offense. The role players are not showing up all the time. So that's where you would wish you would have had a Tyler Hero there to provide that instant offense for you so Jimmy can pay more attention to guarding the likes of Jamal Murray or Bruce Brown, apparently, because he's giving them buckets like hell. But
absolutely. But to your point, though, and me, I'm not a huge Hero fan. I know he can give you 20 a night, but there's 2 sides of the coin. Hero has to guard the perimeter as well. Okay. He's not a tall guy, and he's not a guy that's going to slide his feet at a great rate. So he's going to get picked on a lot if he's out there. And I know, we like to bring up the fact that Hero's not there, et cetera, et cetera. They made this entire run without Hero. They got through the Bucks without Hero. They got through the Celtics without Hero, right? Now we're here. I I don't know if we could just pencil in Hero and then he just makes a difference coming off of that broken hand.
You just said the Nuggets have. You said the Nuggets are winning this series because they have role players who step up, right? Like Bruce Brown and Chris Brown, whatever his name is, off the bench.
Yes.
Like, will Tyler Hero not give you 20 off the bench every
Can
night?
Gabe Vincent give you 20?
But Tyler
Can
Hero
Caleb Martin give you 20?
We can't be comparing those two players right now. There's no way.
Certainly can.
There's no way on earth.
Let's not forget Caleb Martin's going to be MVP next year. So
he could have been Eastern Conference MVP.
Nah.
What are we talking about?
Gabe Vincent though? Gabe Vincent. They can't even play Gabe Vincent because he is 5 foot tall and cannot make us. He can't make a shot. On God, Tyler Hero and Gabe Vincent are two different players. Like this dude will give you 20 off the bench a night. This is 20 points just gone because Gabe Vincent doesn't want to play.
Gabe Vincent, he's out of rhythm because he's in foul trouble every night
because he can play defense. He's 5'11". Tyler Hero is not that small. Tyler Hero is what, 6'6", 6'7"? He's not getting babied like that every play. Gabe Vincent is unplayable. Gabe,
he's not. Oh, he's not getting babied every play.
Dude, no, he's not.
Who is he guarding?
Gabe Vincent is?
Who is he guarding?
Dude.
Answer me. Who is he guarding?
He's guarding Aaron Gordon better than Gabe Vincent is guarding Aaron Gordon. I'm not saying he can guard Aaron Gordon, but he can guard him better.
He would. Like, come on, bro.
And you know that.
That's like 6 inches right
He's
there.
He's guarding Aaron Gordon.
That is not what I said.
It just gives them more length and like, dude, we have to understand how small Gabe Vincent is. Gabe Vincent is tiny. He's tiny. Tyler Hero gives you length. He can at least put his hands up. He's not like, come on, bro. We see how Aaron Gordon is doing this dude, Gabe Vincent.
I can't believe we're even having this conversation.
Yeah, this is just weird.
The Tyler Hero, Gabe Vincent comparison is so disrespectful.
Like the defense is a comparison. Like the defense might be like they both might be bad at defense, but the offense is just two different things.
It is.
It's not a comparison, but Joey, you can't make a finals run alone. I don't care if you're LeBron. I don't care if you're KD. I don't care if you're Thanos. You're not doing it alone. Jimmy Butler has had key contributions from all of these role guys this entire run. But
add one more.
Now we get to the finals. And reality sets in. I got another clip.
No, get those lights off. Off. Turn them off. They're too bright. Turn them.
They're too bright. So when we get to the finals, now we want to backpedal and talk about, these guys aren't as good as Bruce Brown. These guys aren't as good as Christian
No one said
Brown.
that.
Like, you're an idiot.
No one said that. No, you were the one who said that. No one said they're not as good as Bruce Brown. But Tyler Hero is way better than Bruce Brown. Like, not even comparable.
You're trying to pencil in a guy in the NBA Finals that has not played in months.
What are we talking about, dude? Tyler Hero is a 6-man candidate every year. This man's played in the finals before. Did we not remember his first playoff run? He probably averaged like 15 points per game in his rookie year. This dude has experience. He has everything. If they put him on this team, they're a way better team. You think they were 5 without him? They're way better with him. Like it's not like Gabe Vincent was.
They're way better with him.
They're gonna add. Yeah, he would add on to as good as he would just add on to their success. Like it's not like he would just take away anything from Gabe.
I think Tyler Hero was the Heat's leading scorer this season. If not, maybe top 2.
He's one of their main scorers. Like when Jimmy wasn't scoring during the regular season, so it was Tyler. Like, whoa.
Joey, I'm a prisoner of reality. I'm a prisoner. I'm sorry.
Don't let him come back this series, too.
I'm a prisoner. Let me get into this. I'm a prisoner of reality. Jacob, fix your face. Fix it.
I
watched 82 games of this.
I pray that he'll come back, dude.
I watched 82 games of this.
Here's the thing that I will admit when we're talking about the Bruce Brown, Tyler Hero conversation. Tyler Hero may be better. He is a better player, but when it comes down to it, Bruce Brown fits what Denver is doing much more. Like
You just said he was the leading scorer for the Heat. How can he fit him more? He's their second best player, third best player.
No, I understand that, but like when it comes down to role players, Bruce Brown, like he fits with what?
Tyler Hero.
No, I'm not saying.
This is because he's white, isn't it?
Oh my God. He's saying the fit. He's not saying
I
in terms of
understand
talent or anything like that.
I
He's just
understand what
saying
he's
the fit.
saying, but it
You
doesn't
know.
matter.
Even
He's a
in Bruce
better
Brown's
player
role,
by
how could he not be
far.
better?
But it does, because the Heat, they've had a top defense in these playoffs. When you insert a Tyler Hero in there, if he's not making shots,
Forget
then it
about
gets very
defense.
scary.
Forget about defense. The reason the Heat are losing is because they can't make shots. This dude, Gabe Vincent and Max Hughes, are like terrible these last two games. Terrible. Like this dude, Tyler Hero is going to give you 20 each of those nights. So that's 20 points just taken off the board.
What do you mean no?
No, he's their
He
leading
can't just
scorer.
He
He's their
can't
leading
just pencil
scorer.
in 20 off a broken hand. We can't do that.
Bro, I'm
We
talking about
don't
if
know
he's
what he give
healthy.
us.
What are we talking about?
What are you talking about?
I'm just talking. We're talking about hypotheticals, right? We're talking about if Tyler Hero was there. He makes a difference.
He would make a difference.
Even if he came off this broken hand, he's guaranteed to give you at least one 20-point game.
For sure. Instead of losing by 15 to 20, they'd probably lose by 10. Yeah.
Dude, what are you talking about?
Did
Did they lose by 20 last night or something?
Actually, Jacob, I want to talk about your boy, though. Because that's where this entire conversation stemmed off of. Is he hurt?
Dude, I never said he was hurt.
I'm just asking.
No, he's not hurt. He's not hurt.
If you ask around the league,
I'm just asking.
Nah.
No, he's not hurt.
Okay. He's not hurt in?
If you ask around the league, people who know will say he's hurt, but he hasn't said it publicly. So I won't say it publicly, and people haven't said it publicly. So I don't want that as an excuse. Like that, I don't want it. I don't like using injuries as an excuse, really. Like
I asked you a yes or no question.
What?
Is he hurt?
Yes.
I mean, he might be. I don't know. But anyway.
What do you mean might be? We saw him get hurt. We saw it happen.
Dude, he's not hurt enough to hinder his performance. He still has 25 and
the Knicks series. The Knicks series. Months ago, weeks ago. That's what you're talking about.
He's fine.
All right.
Jimmy Butler is not the reason they're losing.
He had rest on that injury, right? No.
Zero.
What? Like you can actually just look at the tape and see him holding his ankle, and read reports online. Like what's his name said it on JJ's podcast. Doris Burke, shout out her. Like he just said like he was hurt, but she doesn't want to use an excuse, and she loves it, and I love it. That's all Jimmy. Like
she a trainer? Is she a physician?
Inside scoop, bro. Like, whoa, what are we doing here? Like, this is Doris Burke. I'm not just gonna cap
Doris Burke.
Is he a capper? Like,
anyways, I just posed the question, Joey. I want to make my stance known in here, just so we're all aware of where this is all coming from.
We already know your stance, dude.
You know, I know you know. I know you're aware. But for our guest, let me just humor my guest in the audience. Let me just humor them. I don't believe Jimmy Butler is a superstar. Believe that. Joey, you just told me that Tyler Hero averaged more points than him in the NBA regular season. First and foremost, let's get that out the way. Then we get to the playoffs, right? Then he explodes into this legend, this mythical beast, right? People are comparing him to Michael Jeffrey Jordan himself for the way that he's playing.
That's his dad.
Because he's sitting there giving us 30 points, 10 rebounds, couple of assists with that. Then he's stealing the ball 3 or 4 times. A menace to society. He takes down Giannis, a former MVP, in 5 games. Then he goes into MSG, handles his business, right? But what people don't talk about is the decline. Okay. We get so caught up in these numbers, we do. But it's been a distinct decline from that Buck series to this point that we're at here. Okay. I bring up the role players because they've done a lot. They've done a lot to mask this. Okay. But at some point, every year, every single point, reality has to set in. The bad habits that we develop throughout the season, they come back to haunt us. Okay. But for Jimmy Butler, okay, I said he had broad shoulders. He's done a lot to carry this team during this play. The Heat in general have had a great season because of this. Great end of the season because of this. Okay. But there has been a distinct decline. Jimmy is tired. He's tired. He's getting worn out by this run because he has to do so much, as we alluded to. He has to defend the best perimeter player, and he also has to score at a high rate, and he has to do that efficiently. Okay. So when we get into comparisons of players that have taken, we'll say, lesser teams to the heights and then completed a finals run, we're talking about folks like LeBron James. All right. We're talking about LeBron. He is not LeBron. He's not.
He's not the greatest player of all time.
No, he's not.
Okay.
What do you mean? Okay, it is okay.
That's the greatest player of all time you're talking about. Like, what are you talking about? I can't believe you just compared him to the greatest player of all time.
What?
Is that why you don't think he's a superstar? Because he's
because he's not LeBron.
I'm so confused.
No. Don't put words in my mouth now. I'm just talking about completing a finals run of this.
On God, no one has had a worse team in the finals. God, no one has had a worse team in the finals. God, no one has had a worse team in the finals.
Nobody has had a worse team
ever. Probably like sports. This has probably never been a superstar with the worst team in sports history, dude. This team's bad. What?
Do you want a medal? I got some Oreo cookies in the kitchen.
But
if y'all want some.
What do you want him to do against the best team in the league?
What do I want him to do? I want him to be, I want him to be 30, 10, and 10.
But I'm saying he can't do it alone, dude. He can't do it alone. No one's done it alone.
That's what I want.
No one's done it alone, though. He needs help.
Dude, so you're basically saying that he's fatigued, so he's not a superstar.
That's not what I'm saying, Jacob. You're putting words in my mouth. How dare you?
How dare you? I'm reiterating.
How dare you? Joey, Jimmy Butler was on an all-NBA team this year. And you just told me that Tyler Hero averaged more points than him. How does that happen? Explain it to me.
Jimmy Butler can just do more.
He can do more.
He can do more. He could, again, play defense. Can he score? Yes. We've seen it. He doesn't need to. And I said this last time. He doesn't need to do that. But now when he's in a situation, you even said, again, and this is the point I was trying to make with Tyler Hero being out. He's out. He's got to do so much. He's fatigued. And again, that doesn't make me surprised if he was injured because he has to do so much. Maybe that's why he declined, because he's done so much for them. They lost their first play-in game to your beloved Hawks, or at least some of your beloved Hawks. And then they unfortunately beat my Bulls, but that's a conversation for another day. That's already in the past. But they play the first seed in the first round, beat them, and now they're all the way in the finals. The guy is exhausted.
The guy is exhausted because, again, when you're tired, when these games are on the line, when the lights are the brightest in the finals, this is where we separate the good from the great. Okay. Jimmy Butler, he always elevates his level of play in the playoffs. He was sensational in those early rounds. He was. We can't take that away from him at all. But all I'm saying is that we need that now. We need that right now from him. Okay? Because during the season, of course, we talk about all these things that Jimmy Butler can do, the Swiss Army knife that he is. they're in the play-in. Almost got knocked out of the play-in, right? So when we get into Jimmy Butler, this is who he is. That's my only comment that I have about this guy. We can look at the numbers. 22, 23, 19s. This is who this guy is. So we can't ask him to be LeBron James, Jacob. That's what I'm trying to tell you. I need to get that through your skull. We can't ask him to do that. You want to give him an award for getting to the finals? Great. I have some Oreo cookies, original, not the double stuff, but the original. They're in my kitchen. That's fine. But there's really no award for that. It's a great season.
There is no other player in NBA history that is capable of taking this talented of a team, which is garbage, and averaging 27, 6-6 throughout the playoffs and leading them to a finals. And last night, by the way, I guess you forgot, he had like 25, 7-7 last night. Sorry?
I read out the stats for you.
Oh, yeah. Anyway, so he's performing. It's not his fault. Look at his team.
Whoa. It is a team sport. I definitely, again, my take from the beginning of this series was the fact that the Heat need to shoot 50 plus from three in order to beat the Denver Nuggets. Right. But last night, Jokic, foul trouble. End of the game, fourth quarter, right? He gets outscored by Bruce Brown. But I'm supposed to sit here and be happy with 25 on good percent field goal shooting, whatever. If he is the star that y'all say he is, right? They need more.
I don't understand what that means, though. What is he supposed to do?
More.
He can't catch it himself.
More. It's that simple. More.
I mean, it's easy to say words, you know.
I don't understand. Joey. Max Strus, he didn't have it. Gabe Vincent didn't have it. We have old man Kevin Love, old man Kyle Lowry putting their bodies on the line. Putting their bodies on the line to keep this game from getting out of hand. We've seen them come back in the fourth quarter before. There are plus $1 million in the fourth quarter in this series. Okay. They had a chance to win this game. They was down single digits in the fourth quarter. Jokic was not in the game. We have to lean on our stars, do we not?
Yes.
That's all I'm saying.
Dude, you can't trade buckets and expect to win when you're already down double digits. It's simple math. Like, there's nothing that he could do. He can't guard 5 people at the same time. He can't shoot every shot when he's triple teamed. He has to pass it to the wide open. Yes, dude. They literally leave people wide open on the 3-point line.
They were tripling him in the
wide
post.
Open, and they just missed the shots. What do you like? You think Gabe Vincent is 0 of 4? Like these dudes just can't shoot. They can't shoot. There's nothing Jimmy can do, dude. He can't pass and shoot for himself. Like, he can't do everything.
I mean, why do you think LeBron got swept in the finals? Is he not a superstar because he got swept with that terrible roster?
That is a good point. That's your whole point.
And the Kevin Durant Warriors.
That the reason that Jimmy isn't a superstar.
What are we doing right now?
The skill gap is the same between those two teams and these two teams. It's the same thing.
God, it is.
With Steph Curry and Kevin Durant.
Yes.
Have you lost it? Have you lost it? Joe?
I don't really know what to say to you anymore.
Dude, without Tyler Hero, who else on the team is, I guess, Bam? But
this is the worst roster in NBA Finals history.
And this is what I said earlier too. Like, when Bam is asked upon to shoot like 20 shots a game.
Yeah.
If I'm Denver, if I'm any other team that's playing the Miami Heat, I am living with that.
Yeah.
And also another stat about Gabe Vincent too. He did not just go 0-4 last night. The past 2 games, he's 1 of 10. He's 1 of 10.
What if Strus has to be terrible too? I know Strus hasn't made a shot in a minute.
They need to just go ahead and give Duncan Robinson all Juice's minutes.
Honestly, like Duncan Robinson, like he might play some terrible defense at times, but he'll make a shot.
Duncan's good. Definitely
America runs
boosted
on
his
Duncan.
value. But Joey, you can tell by the attitude of this podcast right now. You know, all stories have to come to an end. They do. All stories must come to an end. It was a great run, a great season by the Miami Heat. We know how it is when you're when you're down 3-1, excuse me, in their case. I believe this one is over. 5 games. Joey, what do you think?
Unfortunately, I'm going to have to agree. I think, like, again, Denver's just too freaking good. Too good of a team construction. Like, there's honestly nothing more that Jimmy Butler or Thanos, again, can do. Like, it's gone. It's done.
To me, it's not even just the skill gap; it's also the size gap. Like, it's like they can't even do anything out there. Like, they put out a grown man next to another grown man. That man's he's just bigger. He's just stronger. Like, there's nothing you can do.
This is true.
Jacob, you ready to throw in?
Wait, it lagged out. What'd you say?
You ready to throw in the towel?
I mean, it all comes down to next game. I'm not going to pretend like I don't know the odds of being down 3-1 in the finals. Only my glorious Snookums has won that. But I think if the Heat come out firing next game and they mess around and steal one in Denver, it's a series.
That gets serious. They still
Then
want
it gets
another
really
one.
sticky. Then it gets really scary.
Back to Miami for Game 6. Don't let it happen.
Joey, we just get through talking about the skill gap. They start talking about how the undrafteds aren't performing, this, that, and the other, the size gap, and that sliver of hope that they still
Didn't
have.
you have a segment called Momentum? Do you not understand the power of momentum?
Momentum, really. You might have to bring that back one time. I know momentum better than any of us. But that glimmer of hope in your eyes, Jacob, that's what I'm trying to crush right now. That's what I want to crush. Throw in the towel. It's over. Think about the offseason.
I didn't hear a fat lady sing.
Rebuff the roster. Get Spo out of there.
Whoa.
Hot take.
Definitely hot take. Anyway, man, y'all got anything else before we wrap this thing up?
I got Man City tonight over Inter Milan. Champions League final.
Shout out to Messi. He coming to Miami.
Yeah, we'll have to go see them play in the Benz.
I promise you those tickets will be ludicrous.
Yeah, they will.
But not going.
I had a question for y'all football watchers. Where do y'all think DeAndre Hopkins is going to go? He's supposed to make his decision in the next few weeks.
He's going to go to either the Chiefs or the Bills, I bet.
The Chiefs and the Bills don't have money for him.
Do they not? I mean, he might take a pay cut.
The only teams that have money for him right now are the Patriots and the Eagles.
I could see the Patriots.
The Eagles.
Don't let him come to the Eagles. That's all I have to say.
I can see that, though.
That would be crazy.
That would be insane.
What about Miami?
I don't know if they have money because they might get Dalvin Cook, but I did hear Dalvin Cook. I forgot about that. Dalvin Cook might go to Miami.
That would be a great pickup for them.
Time will tell. At Take 5 Pod, make sure y'all follow us everywhere. YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, TikTok. Daily content going up. Denver 5.
Go Birds.